A family in Elizabethtown is grappling with the shooting death of a woman they say lived to help others. It's our top story right here on the Night Team. I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez. According to the family, the suspect is someone whom the victim was trying to give a place to stay. WHAS11 Night Team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Aspen Hester report from Hardin County.
In one tragic moment, she was gone. 37-year-old Kenyatta McWilliams was shot and killed this week at her Elizabethtown home. According to Kenyatta's family, the suspect is a stranger she was helping get back on his feet. An hour after the shooting, police arrested 34-year-old Chris Bell Jr. Kenyatta's loved ones are grieving.
She opened the door for everybody. Our home was open to anybody who needed help. She was there to help them.
They tell us Kenyatta had a selfless heart, saying her main concern was always making sure everyone had a roof over their heads.
She had her own personality. She really didn't.
She didn't care.
A lot of people crap just took her people.
Now they're shocked that someone so caring could have their life taken away so soon. The family says she accepted anyone.
Everybody, she wanted them to know that they were loved. You could be a drug addict, you could be a killer, you could be whatever. She wanted them to know that they were loved.
Family members say Bell, who is charged with murder, is someone Kenyatta helped from time to time. But the family says things took a turn for the worse Wednesday night when she asked him to leave.
He just didn't want to leave, I guess. And we tried to tell him to leave and closed the door on him and locked it, and we thought that was it.
Cindy McWilliams, Kenyatta's partner, says Bell being behind bars isn't enough to relieve her pain.
I want him to feel the pain we feel.
But she's grateful for the dedication of officers finding Bell that same night.
It helped me to see that her life had meaning. I've never seen that many police out in the small town of E-Town.
Now the family is hoping for justice and that Bell takes his time to think about the life he took away. Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
The suspect is charged with murder and is being held at the Hardin County Detention Center on a $1 million cash bond. Meanwhile, Kenyatta McWilliams' sister-in-law has started a GoFundMe page to help with funeral expenses. If you'd like to donate, you see our website link there. It's WHAS11.com. Louisville's gun violence continues to be a major issue in this city. 150 people were killed and more than 400 injured by shootings in 2023. That's according to the latest numbers from LMPD. And this has been a growing trend. For the fourth year in a row, Louisville has surpassed triple digits in homicides. And while the total has gone down the last couple of years, community activists say the eye-popping numbers feel stagnant.
To me, unfortunately, we're still stuck in this pattern that is an uptick, and we haven't seen we have not seen a downward spiral in 4 years. The evidence is pretty clear on that.
That's Christopher 2X there. He works with survivors of gun violence and families impacted by it in Louisville. He says for the people he works with, the continuing trend is devastating. He tells us it'll take a concentrated effort from everyone working together to bring those numbers down. Now to an update on a kidnapping in North Carolina with Kentucky ties. The missing teenager has been found, and now a Kentucky man is accused of keeping her locked under a trap door in his bedroom. 34-year-old Zachary Jones was identified by Lincoln County, Kentucky deputies. That's just south of Lexington, 2 hours away from Jefferson County. Police were called to his home on Christmas after his mom called to report a domestic violence situation with his, quote, girlfriend, according to arrest citations. When they searched his home, they found a 16-year-old inside a trap door hidden by a rug in his room. The teenager told police he picked her up from her home in North Carolina and that Jones sexually assaulted her and gave her drugs. The man, is charged with rape, assault, unlawful imprisonment, and more. WHAS 11 News has learned a newly elected town council majority will be naming a new police chief come their first meeting on Tuesday. The town council will announce Captain Nathan Walls as their new police chief during their Tuesday meeting. Walls will replace current police chief Mark Palmer from the post he's held for 12 years. Some current and former town council members are now openly condemning this move.
I understand that, but to change something that's working and and is good for the town is just nonsensical.
If you stack up any of their resumes to Mark Palmer's, they're going to lose. Mark Palmer's been there 33 years. You know, I haven't met one person that has a bad thing to say about this guy.
In a statement, Clarksville Town Council Vice President Karen Henderson told WHAS11 News the council will name a new chief Tuesday. She says, quote, "This is not a demotion, this is a reappointment, which happens when new mayors and councils are elected. We appreciate Mark Palmer's service as chief the last 12 years and are looking forward to a new era," end quote. Henderson did not respond to our multiple requests for an interview. Kentucky lawmakers will return to Frankfort on Tuesday for the start of the new legislative session for 2024. It's a budget year, so a lot of their time will be spent on that, but the Republican supermajority has already signaled several other priorities. One of the main priorities for Republicans here in Louisville is passing the Safer Kentucky Act. This is a large public safety measure that Republicans say will address a rise in crime and keep people safe. The current version makes homeless camping illegal if a property owner asks someone to leave and they refuse. Another aspect is a 3 strikes rule, where if a person is convicted of 3 violent felonies, they get life in prison without parole.
If it costs the taxpayers more money, I think that's okay. I mean, obviously it's in the mix on how much it costs, but we're trying to keep our people safe. And if you've committed 3 violent felonies, you need to go to prison for the rest of your life.
We have so many laws on the books. Now we're going to enforce something so it's comfortable to us. That's a simple way of responding to it. But if you get down to mental health and housing and all that sort of stuff, it gets very complex.
You just heard from Democrat Gerald Neal there, but we also asked Louisville-based State Representative Jason Nemes how fast he thinks things will get moving to start the session. He doesn't predict anything being passed in the first week, but he does believe many bills will be filed and passed through committee. The Teamsters Union has responded to UPS's plans to shut down the day sort hub at the Centennial Hub right here in Louisville. Yesterday, the UPS announced the closure of the day shift starting February 16th. Teamsters Local 89 says they're not privy to the details of how UPS intends to accomplish this. In a statement today, they say they don't anticipate much of an impact to their membership, noting, quote, "The LCH day shift sort is a relatively small operation, and most or all its volume can likely be absorbed by the other larger LCH sorts," end quote. The union says they do intend to meet with UPS and will update with what they learn. And the war in Ukraine is taking a devastating and deadly turn. Russia is launching its largest attack since the fighting began nearly 2 years ago. Missiles and drones striking 6 major cities all at once, leaving dozens killed. ABC's Tim Pulliam has the latest on President Biden's reaction.
The war in Ukraine hitting a new low. Russia delivering its largest attack since its non-stop invasion, sending residents running for their lives. Dozens killed and more than 100 injured. Over 100 missiles and drones simultaneously striking 6 cities in an hours-long attack. Ukraine says it was able to intercept most. Some places took direct hits. From a shopping mall in flames to smoke billowing from this apartment building fully engulfed. And this maternity hospital where more than a dozen women were about to give birth, now ruined. Crews rushing to save people trapped in the rubble. Ukraine's president addressing the violence, vowing to fight back in a video message to his citizens, saying, "This is where life is being fought for. We thank every fighter, every soldier, every sailor, every sergeant, every officer who carry this war on their shoulders." President Biden condemning Russia's attack while urging Congress to pass a new $250 million military aid package for Ukraine and U.S. border security, adding, "When dictators and autocrats are allowed to run roughshod in Europe, the risk rises that the United States gets pulled in directly. We cannot let our allies and partners down. We cannot let Ukraine down. History will judge harshly those who fail to answer freedom's call."
As some senators begin negotiating military funding, the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine says that there could be more Russian missile attacks over the holiday weekend. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And just this week, the U.S. sent the last of the military aid approved by Congress to Ukraine, sending them weapons pulled from the Pentagon's stockpile. Now, in a statement, a Pentagon spokesman said there is no more funding to replace the weapons taken from the department's stock.